What's up, guys? First of all, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please make sure you do that. And one of the things that I have been thinking about that's been really buzzing, that I've really had in my mind, is the whole concept, the whole thought of the Triple H versus Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania 32. And this video here, I'll give my full thoughts on the Roman Reigns versus Triple H match at WrestleMania 32. One of the things I've noticed is that, of course, we all know this is the main event, but a lot of people do not like, they don't like the fact that it's Roman versus Triple H because everybody keeps saying it's too predictable. Well, let me just address that real quick. One thing that I've noticed about people, and I don't get why, you sit there and you want the WWE to push someone. You want them to push a superstar. The moment that they do get pushed, then you begin to hate them. Now, I'm not saying there's not a reason to actually, I'm not saying I don't understand the reasons why people hate Roman Reigns, because I get why they don't like him. I get why. It's because of the terrible mic skills he got. It's because of, it seems like he only does for so many moves. It's a lot of reasons of why people don't like Roman Reigns. I just don't get, though, how the reason why people, you want someone to get pushed. Yeah, all that time that John Cena, with John Cena, people hate on John Cena, but then when John Cena's not around, everybody's saying John Cena needs to come back. I don't understand. When John Cena's around, you're like John Cena's getting too much of the spotlight. You're like John Cena's always, getting a push, always burying people, as they say. But when John Cena's not there, then you act like you need John Cena. I mean, I just don't understand where people's minds go. 1 minute, you're on this guy's side. Next minute, you're not on his side. 1 minute, everybody's saying, oh, Roman Reigns this, Roman Reigns that. Next minute, everybody hates Roman Reigns. They're like, man, I can't stand Roman Reigns, man. Roman Reigns, he needs to leave. Well, I'm going to just say it like this. The whole idea of this was really in the mind of Vince McMahon. Because when you think about it, you think about how they've had Roman Reigns going. You think about it, when he rivaled with Bray Wyatt, a lot of people supported him more at that time period when he was battling Bray Wyatt last year than they did when he was done that rivalry. Actually, I believe, in my opinion, that was one of the best rivalries of 2015 because they had a really good story going. Because first Bray Wyatt beat him at Battleground, then he went on Return to Favor SummerSlam at Tag Team match with Dean Ambrose. Then they had a really good match at Night of Champions. Then he went against him at Hell in a Cell and ended it. But his rivalry with Bray Wyatt was very intense, and people was on his side at that time. But it seemed like once he became champion, then once he lost it a couple of seconds later, then when he won the championship back, everybody was saying all this bad stuff about Roman Reigns. Like I said, these superstars, and another thing I don't like is how a lot of people will try to compare other superstars in his family. Now, let's make something perfectly clear. He may be related to The Rock, and he may be related to the Usos and stuff, but The Rock was his own person. The Rock, he didn't get pushed, for the same reason that they're trying to push Roman Reigns. There were two different people. One of the reasons why The Rock is more successful than Roman Reigns is because of his mic skills. Is because, first of all, he didn't even need to have something written for him to say what he had to say. The Rock, basically, a lot of the stuff he said was catchphrases and stuff that he came up with himself. And that's what made The Rock successful. A lot of his mic skills in general, the way how he would talk about people, the way how he could actually have a really good long promo, and Roman Reigns can't do that. And like I said, I understand. I get it. Going into WrestleMania 32 this Sunday, I just think about this. Is the WWE, were they really thinking when they decided they would put this match as a main event? Because quite honestly, I'm going to just say it like this. People said the same thing last year when he went against Brock Lesnar. It was like, oh, if he go against Brock Lesnar, it's just going to be, you know, a bad match and stuff. They were saying that then. But what happened? It ended up when the match happened, yeah, Brock Lesnar dominated. But then Roman Reigns, randomly out of the blue, after getting beat the heck out of, the whole match started getting them at the last minute. 2 Superman punches, 2 spears. Then Seth Rollins comes in and cashes his Money at the Bank. So you never know. That's all I want to say. You know, I'm not saying people are wrong for hating Roman Reigns, because I understand it completely. I just don't like the fact that you can't blame Roman Reigns for what's been going on. I mean, as far as the mic skill is concerned, yeah, you can sort of blame him for that, because, I mean, come on. And sometimes I just don't even be knowing. But see, I just hate how people, you want someone to get pushed. When I say I want someone to get pushed, I mean it. You want someone to get pushed. And then when they do get pushed, you sit there and complain because you're like, oh, they're getting all the spotlight. Oh, they're this, they're that. They always in the spot. They always burying people, burying young talent and all that stuff. I just don't get it. I honestly, I think some people don't know what they want. One minute you're on a guy's side, the next minute you against the guy. I just don't know which one. But I could see why this is the way it is, because of the poor buildup. It was a really poor buildup. It really was. The whole idea of Triple H versus Roman Reigns, the buildup, you know, it's like they tried to make it so important because they saw how much attention that Shane McMahon, Undertaker getting. They saw how much attention that was getting. So they felt like they just had to make it just as important as that, because they knew that was going. They know, and they knew at then that it was going to outshine Triple H versus Roman Reigns, which is why I don't even understand why they're even still going with this. But let me just put it this way about my whole thoughts about the match at WrestleMania. Now, honestly, I think either way, it's going to be some kind of something that happens. Same way how I said Shane McMahon, Undertaker is going to be an interference match. I feel like something is probably going to end up happening. But, you know, if Roman Reigns wins, we all know what the crowd's going to do. And if Triple H wins, I mean, what's really the difference? I mean, they literally have it set. And this is why a lot of people say it's too predictable, where everyone pretty much knows that they're going to have Roman Reigns win. And I can understand why people are mad. But my thing is, I'm just going to put it like this. You know, I understand. I do. But what I don't understand is why people sit there and you want someone to get pushed. And when they do get pushed, you begin to hate them. And I just feel like sometimes people don't know what they want. One minute you all on a guy's side, you're like you want him to get pushed. The minute he is getting pushed, the minute he is getting that spotlight, the minute he is getting the main events like you wanted him to, or he's championing the way you wanted him to, that's when you begin to hate him. You know, and I just don't understand. And if it was really because he was related to The Rock that he's getting pushed, as some people may think, that would be a lie. Because if that was the case, they would have pushed Rikishi. I mean, they would have gave Umaga a championship. There's a lot of people they would have done that with if it was just because of them being in the same family. I mean, come on. And even though that can somehow have a factor to it, let's not think of it that way. And again, everything I'm saying does not have to be agreeable. It does not. It's just my opinion. But like I said, The whole idea with this match at WrestleMania 32, it's all about how they write it, how they book it, how Vince or Triple H can somehow make some kind of agreement on how this match is going to go. Because they could literally be conversating during the match, Roman Reigns and Triple H, and tell each other that what they're going to do to kind of make it seem different. Because you just never know. Now, based on what you've seen, it seems as if, it's just going to be really bad. It just seems as if, okay, Roman Reigns is going to win. But, you never know how Roman Reigns is going to win. It might be something that they do under the table that we would have never seen. I'm just saying that there's just a little chance of hope. Not that much, but just a little tiny bit of a chance of hope. Because, at this point, I don't even know why Triple H, for real, I'm gonna just be honest. Triple H put himself in the spotlight as a reason to wrestle at WrestleMania. At this point, Triple H have no reason to be wrestling at WrestleMania. He just keeps trying to do things to put himself in a match at WrestleMania. You think about it. Last WrestleMania, what was the reason he wrestled Sting? It was because when Team Authority went against Team Cena, Sting made his debut and attacked Triple H, leading up to them fighting at WrestleMania. Triple H always does something creative to find himself to be at WrestleMania when he really doesn't have to. But he just does it because he likes to wrestle WrestleMania. But, like I said, a lot of us know, we pretty much know that Roman Reigns is going to win it. But my thing is this. What we don't know is how he's going to win it. And what we don't know is how they're going to book it. Because like I said, this is WrestleMania. And we've seen plenty of times where they even now would change things at the last minute. Booker T, as everyone knows, was scheduled to beat Triple H at WrestleMania 19. Before that match started, someone changed the decision. It had Triple H win. Why did they do that? I have no idea, but they changed it at the last minute, so you never know. They can change decision making. They can make it where they put some stuff in the match that they didn't actually originally have planned just because of them knowing what the crowd is going to do. It's a lot of things that the WWE can come up with, and it all depends on how well they do it. But like I said, a lot of people sit here and get mad at Roman Reigns. You cannot blame Roman Reigns for what's been going on. Now, sure, his mic skills, I'll say, that is kind of on him because he just can't talk on the mic. He's not really good at making jokes on the mic. But, I mean, the man, okay, sure, he doesn't really have that much moves in his arsenal. But he's had some good matches moving up to WrestleMania. There's no question about that, especially his rivalry with Bray Wyatt. But I mean, it's like, everyone knew, they pretty much know that a lot of these other matches, especially the Shane Undertaker, is going to probably outshine. But as I said on the last video, you don't want to put too much hype in a match. Not saying that you shouldn't, but it's just that when you put too much hype, you never know. You never know how the match is actually going to turn out. So, like I said, for this particular match, because it doesn't have that much hype, this should be what Vince thinks outside the box and tries to come up with whatever he can to make this match actually seem important. Because if him and Triple H don't agree on something, that they don't think of a way to make this match where it seems important, it's not going to be important and no one's going to care about it. And that's one of the issues that they have got to think about leading up to this Sunday. This Sunday is only a couple of days away. It is already Wednesday. It's just 4 days from now. And they got all this time where they need to decide how they're going to do this match. Or if they're going to do it at all, they need to think of how they're going to set it up. Because if they don't think of it, they're going to be in really deep trouble. That's only going to be on them. Like I said, the last thing I would want to see, because one thing about last year WrestleMania, that crowd came out happy. They didn't come out wanting to get a refund for their tickets or being mad and stuff. They came out happy. Last thing I want to see is the crowd going crazy because Roman Reigns won. A lot of people hated on Roman Reigns. They even now edit SmackDown because they know that Roman Reigns is going to get a bunch of boos, so they use these fake cheers on SmackDown just for him to get some cheers. That's how bad it's become, and that's how bad it will continue if they don't do something to actually make this match seem important. They don't do something at WrestleMania to make it seem like, oh, well, maybe it's not too predictable. If they don't make it where, Roman Reigns, let's say he goes for 2 spears, Triple H kicks out of both of them, and they're like, oh my God, when is Roman Reigns going to win? Triple H goes for 2 pedigrees, Roman Reigns kicks out both of those. They're like, who's going to win this thing? If they don't make it with that much excitement, where you have absolutely no idea who's going to win, then this match will not be successful, which is what a lot of people are already thinking. But I'm just saying, for me personally, to give you guys my opinion, just give it a little bit of hope. If you get it a little bit of hope, it is possible that it can be successful, but it all depends on how they book it. It all depends on how they think. It all depends on the way how they set up this match between now and Sunday. So again, as I said before, for the people that hate Roman Reigns, there's a perfect reason to hate him, and I'm not going against it. But what I do not understand is why people sit there and they hate Roman Reigns. I mean, when people sit there and they want someone to be pushed, but when they do get pushed, they sit there and complain about him each and every time. So that's all I got to say about this in this particular video. Man, that's a lot to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do that. Thumbs up if you like this video. Probably not. Said way too much. And peace.